Hi sewing friends, this is Karina from Lifting Pins and Needles. Today I have a little audience over there, but you're not going to see them. Anyway, today I have a video tutorial for you, and I've been planning this for a while. I made a pair of culottes in May, I believe, and I showed them on my channel, and I got a lot of requests asking if I could show you how I self-drafted this based off another pants pattern. So these are the ones. They're made out of a knit fabric. I have worn them loads. I've already posted them on my Instagram, and they're just so comfy. They have a thick waistband and a very wide leg, as you can see. So I'm going to show you how to draft your own pattern and make them yourself. So I'm going to stand back and show you how they look. I'm just wearing them with a simple black top. They're very comfy. It's basically like wearing pajamas. It's pants and it looks put together like you're wearing a skirt, but you actually feel like you're wearing pajamas. So in April, I did this, and I'm gonna pop a picture here of what I did with a normal pants pattern where I use the slash and spread method. So you can see the picture there. I already threw that away and I transferred it onto a big piece of paper, right? So I have already got the pattern, but for you guys, I am gonna do it all over again. So for the base of this pattern, you can use any pants pattern that you have, preferably one designed to use with stretch fabric. For this one, I'm going to use the Linda stretch pants from Style Arc, but you can also use a pattern made for woven fabrics that is like on the looser, comfy side. Like for example, the Moji pants from Scene Work. Any pattern that involves a comfy loose fit with a drawstring at the top or an elastic, not the tight fitted pants that you would need to put zips in and have like a really fitted finish, you know, because these are culottes, and they're made of knit, so they're supposed to be comfy, but they're also supposed to have some shape as well, so you don't want it to be too wide either. So I am going to do a little bit of research. As you know, I don't have many patterns, but I'm going to look around online and see what patterns you could use, and I will link them down below in case you have them. You can also use a pair of like a pattern that you have that you think that it was a fail. Like you tried to make the pants and the crotch was wonky, like the back was all saggy. You can use that pattern for this, because with the big box pleat that's going to be in the front, you're going to hide the crotch anyway. So as I was saying, you can dig up your pattern that you have that you think was a fail, that the crotch wasn't right, or you had like a saggy bottom, because for this it doesn't matter. The crotch won't be seen, it just needs to be comfortable, so you can rescue that pattern you thought you were going to throw away. Anyway, enough blab, and let's hop over and show you step by step how I'm doing this, so you can see all the little footage I have recorded for you. So I have my two pattern pieces here. This is the front, this is the back, and the first step I did was measure here from the top of the waist, like if you measure from the side of you down to where I want my culottes to end. I don't like that long or that short, so my total length here is 65 centimeters. That's the length I want them. So I made sure to match these up so that it's going to turn out even, you know, front and back. And I also measured this length, you know, the crotch length, that they will match up as well. So the bottom part of my pants is gone. I have put it to the side. Now the next step, and we're going to do the same with both. If you see here, the back part, you know, it has that curve there. So you're going to find the place where that curve starts and make a line straight down. So from that corner all the way down. So you want all that slopey bit, you know, that curve bit out. That's going to be another pattern piece. So I'm going to go ahead and make a line. I have this huge marker so that you can actually see what I'm doing. It's quite thick, and I hope you can see it. So it's blue. So I've done that line there, all the way down on the back. See that line there? And now I'm going to do the same thing on the front. So the front is a bit more straight than the back actually, but I'm going to start from that top corner there, and there's a little bit of a slope on the front crotch area, so I'm going to go down there. Okay, so I have this divided there. I'm going to go ahead and cut these out, and then I'll explain the next step. Okay, so I have this separated, right? So I'm going to go and trace this, I'm going to go ahead and trace this onto my white paper here. And I'm going to, yeah, I'll do that. And okay, so I've traced this tiny little bit here onto my paper, and then I have the rest of my pants. So to make that box pleat, I want 10 centimeter box pleat. I want it that wide. That's the width of my pleat. So I'm going to get my ruler and measure 10 centimeters from here and down here. So this is the extra width I'm adding at the front, so I can have that inverted box pleat. Okay, then I'm going to get the rest of my pants and put that there and mark around. And I'm writing there that that's my front. So I'm going to take this front piece and put it aside. I'm going to tape it back together shortly, but that's just for me so I don't lose my pieces. So we've done the front. We do exactly the same thing with the back. So I'm going to need another big sheet of white paper, but for now I'm going to go ahead and cut this other bit. To do the same thing, I'm going to trace this bit there, leave a 10 centimeter space there, and then trace the rest of the pants there. Okay, what I want to show you is on the top of the pants here. You see how the pants have like that slant, that shape? That's really important you keep that, because it's got to do with the fit around your waist, how it's going to go around you. So don't make that straight, don't mess with that slant. See, that slant is just the same, you know? So this is my back piece. So I'm just going to mark that back. Get rid of my original pants pattern that is like hacked to death, literally, like I've cut it up. Now I'm going to cut up these pattern pieces, both front and back. Right, so here's my front and here is my back pattern piece. Now I'm going to measure the width of this leg at the front, and it's 35 centimeters. And the one at the back is 40 centimeters. So the back leg is also a little bit wider than the front, and that's usually the case for any type of pants. So I want to get this. I'm going to start with the front. I want to get my leg width from that 35 centimeters to about 60. Yeah. So I'm basically increasing 25 centimeters in the width. Why do I want 60? Because I want this to fit the width of my fabric. So I believe my fabric is about 70 centimeters in the width, I mean folded, you know, folded. So when I have my fabric, so here's my fabric. This is folded, of course. Okay, so that's the fold line there. I'm going to roughly measure it. Yeah, it's about 70 centimeters, you know, this. So I don't want to be like too tight on the, you know. So I want my leg to be 60, and then maybe my back leg will be 65, and I'll fit right into this fabric, okay? So you do need the wide fabric, 60-inch fabric. It doesn't work with narrower fabric. So I want to increase 25 centimeters. So I'm going to cut lots of slashes here. Like every inch I'm going to do a cut. And then I'm going to spread everything, right? So I'm going to make my cuts about maybe a centimeter under the waistline. So I'm going to cut up to there, you know, and so that will allow me to pivot really well without altering the width of my waist, because I don't want that to get wider. I just want the legs to get wider. So I'll go ahead and mark those lines. So I've made 1,000 little cuts here. This is the back piece. So some people like put paper behind it and tape every single space. I am not going to do that. So I'm going to grab another piece of bond paper, put it behind this, tape this part that I'm not going to manipulate, the waist and this crotch area, that bit there, and yeah, you'll see what I'll do. I'm going to play with is now this. So I said I wanted the bottom of my legs, of my leg to be 65 centimeters. So that will fit my fabric. So I'm going to measure from here, from the bottom up to here. 65 is around there. So I'm going to make a line there. That's my 65. I'm sure you can't see that, so I'll mark it with this black. So I want my pant to go from there to there. So I'm just going to now spread all these little lines all the way over here. And you know, there might be like a 2 centimeter gap between each of these little cuts I made. You know, it doesn't have to be scientific. So I've got my width there, from here to here, of 65 centimeters that I wanted. So I'm going to go ahead and trace this onto my new paper. There. Okay, so for this crotch area here, I don't want it to be that close to my leg. So I'm just going to go ahead and just freehand make it a little bit wider there, but not that much. Up to there. And then I might remove from this side the same amount I added there, about 1 inch. So I'll go ahead and like remove 1 inch from here because I added it on to the other part. Okay, so I've corrected that. Now the top. Remember, we want the 10 centimeter deep box pleat. So I'm going to draw a line here. So I'm only going to close this box pleat about 12 centimeters. So it's basically, I'm just marking where my pleat will be. There. See? So back, and my pattern piece is totally ready. So I haven't altered the waist, I haven't altered the crotch. All I've altered was adding a bit of width here under the, you know, the bottom part here, below the crotch, about 1 inch, and then the width of my pants. Yep, it's about what I want. Actually, yeah, 60, turned out about 68. So it's gonna fit right into my fabric, like really, you know, close. So do the same thing on the front. So I've got my new paper for the front piece. So I'm gonna go ahead and place that there. same as I did with the back. So I have a bunch of strips that goes to the rubbish as well. Here I have my front piece, and the same as I did on the back, I'm going to mark my 10 centimeter pleat. Remember we added on a 10 centimeter strip there, extra fabric. So I'm going to mark that, and I'm also going to sew this pleat down about 12 centimeters. I'm just marking that there. Cool, so that's it really. Okay, so I have my 2 pattern pieces, voila, front and back. I'm just going to go now and confirm that my side seams are going to match. You know, when you do these alterations, sometimes you're a bit off. So here I see that the back piece is about 1 centimeter longer than the front, so I'm going to mark that there. And this part here below the crotch, I'm going to adjust that one there. So I'm just going to make those tiny adjustments so that they turn out the same. And right, so everything should match now. The side seams are going to match, and the seams of the crotch. So all that I have to do now is cut it out from my fabric, and that's it really. This pattern already comes with a 1 centimeter seam allowance, so this has 1 centimeter seam allowance. So I'm actually going to write that down here because I sometimes forget those things. So I'm going to write has 1 centimeter allowance. Right, so my pattern piece fits the fabric just like, look at the crotch area, it's just on the edge, and here it's just on the edge. So yeah, that's cool. And check out how wonky they cut my fabric, just terrible. Anyway, I lost a bit of fabric there. So I'm going to cut this out. I'm going to mark that line. That's going to be the only mark I need. It'll mark the box pleat, and I'll do the same with the front. Okay, so I hope that was easy to understand. It does involve a bit of cutting, a little bit of kindergarten action going on there, and a bit, a bit of use of paper. But it's all worth it to have a really cool pattern. I can't stress how easy this is. I can't stress how comfy these culottes come out, when you wear them. You can ignore the measurements I used, that's just my preference of the length. You can make it as long or as short as you want. I would make that box pleat 4 or 5 inches wide. Like, I wouldn't make it smaller than that, just to cover that crotch really well and have these turn out looking sort of like a skirt if you want that look. But yeah, it's all up to you how much you want to add. So tomorrow is part 2 where I have the sew along and the reveal, and I'll also show you what I do with the waistband as well, because I didn't really go over the waistband in the drafting process. Bye!